So, here we are, back again for another episode. It's been a while since I recorded one, which is weird. And, yeah, it's interesting, because a lot has happened since I recorded the last episode of PEDRO'S Movie Cabin podcast. I think that's what it's called. I have to double check. But, yeah, a lot has happened. Moved. House is still going through the sale, but we've moved to a flat, which is about 45 minutes, I guess, away from where I used to live, which means it's a longer track to work. But, I don't mind the fact that it's far away, because I get to walk through Cardiff City Centre on the way to work, which means I'm able to get a cup of coffee and pop to Burger King and stuff like that. Used to, when I was living closer to work, I wouldn't have time to pop to Greg's or something to get a latte or a cappuccino because I left it too late to actually get to work. But now, because I have to leave like an hour and a half, an hour earlier, instead of 10 minutes earlier, I am able to pop into Burger King or coffee shops and grab a coffee on the way to work and still get to work with about 25 minutes to spare. So that's one pretty good aspect. I can't faff about now. I can't sit on my arse for 2 hours before work. I have to sit on my arse for about an hour before I have to get to work. But I digress. The interesting thing about this flat is, like, it gives me a lot more room. Like, I've got a lot more room to actually move around and stuff, because in the house, in the bedroom that I used, the back bedroom, which was known as the cabin at one point, the original cabin, yeah, I had more movies on display, but I had no room. Like, the bed took up too much space. Like, now I've got loads of room. I'm getting a desk soon, which I can actually use as a proper PC desk, because I'm currently using a pop-up table and a chest of drawers. And I've got a lot of stuff hooked up. So what have I got? I've got a keyboard, I've got a DVD drive, I've got headsets, I've got my ring light. Like, a lot of stuff is hooked up. But the problem with living further away, it just means I get home a lot later. So by the time I get home, it's gone midnight. I can just sit down and just watch crap on YouTube, which means I haven't been able to watch a lot of movies. Which kind of sucks, because I do love... I've got a load of new ones. I bought the new Bad Boys film. Bad Boys Ride or Die, which I really want to watch, but I haven't had the chance to watch it. But I've just booked off a week, so towards the end of November, so I will probably sit down and try and catch up on some of the movies that I haven't seen yet, and some of the ones that I've picked up while I was shopping. Because I picked up the movie The Colour Out of Space, starring Nicolas Cage, which is directed by Richard Stanley. Richard Stanley's a really good filmmaker. I think I mentioned him in a video before. His first movie was a film called Hardware, which is it was made in 1990, I think it was, or 1992, and it's like a sci-fi post-apocalyptic killer robot type of thing. A lot of people probably compare it to Terminator, but it's very different to Terminator. It's kind of, imagine if Johnny Five was actually like a homicidal maniac in a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, I guess. But then he went on and directed a film called Dust Devil, starring Robert John Burke from RoboCop 3, played Murphy in RoboCop 3 when Peter Weller didn't return, and he was in Stephen King's Thinner. good actor. He's also, what else is he? He's also in Fled and in Safe with Jason Statham. Yeah, really good actor. And Richard Stanley then followed up that with, I think it was Island of Dr. Moreau, which just went absolutely haywire and just, I think he left or he got fired and replaced by John Frankenheimer. There's a really good documentary about that, which I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to Google it and find out what it's called, because it's all about the trouble that he had while making Island of Dr. Moreau. Let me go back. I'm using my phone, but I'm recording this on iPad on Dolby something. Richard Stanley. Richard Stanley. So yeah, I think he's a South African-born filmmaker, Richard Stanley, born in 1966. He's directed Colour Out of Space with Nicolas Cage, which is the one that I bought. Hardware from 1990. The Island of Dr. Moreau, where he was classed as he was credited as a writer. The Other World, whatever that is, I think that's a short film, and he was part of Theatre Bazaar as well, which was, I think it was like the whole VHS movie type of scenario where it's like multiple different directors do multiple different shorts. What was the name of that documentary? Lost Soul, The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley, which is all about the making of, all the behind the scenes shit, what happened during the making of Island of Dr. Moreau, which I said he was then replaced by John Frankenheimer. I think he said he had a nightmare time working with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando as well. But yeah, he's a very good director, even if his films are very sort of underseen. A bit like Robert Harmon. Robert Harmon did the film The Hitcher, which is, I think it's just got a release by Second Sight on 4K. Robert Harmon's he made another film as well with Colm Feore and James Caviezel, called Highwayman, which is a really good film. I need to get a copy of that again. Highwayman, yeah, check that out. And there's some other really interesting filmmakers that you don't really see a lot talked about. Mark Pavia as well. He did Stephen King's The Night Flyer with Mel Ferrer back in 1997 or 98. That's a really good Stephen King adaptation. Really great cinematography towards the end of that, where it switches from colour to black and white. But he also directed another film, because I always wondered what happened to him. So he made a film. What's it called? Because like visually, he's a pretty decent filmmaker. Mark Pavia, producer. Is that him? Yeah, so he made a film called Fender Bender in 2016. Excuse me. In 2016, called Fender Bender. It's currently only got a 4.9 on IMDb, but Night Flyer's got 6.0, and he was director of that. So, let's see what else he directed. St. Clair. No, that's a producer. As a director. So he's directed 3 movies. One called Drag, which is a short film from 1993, which is a 40-minute short film. The Night Flyer from 1997, which is an adaptation of Stephen King movie, or Stephen King short story, and Fender Bender, which stars Bill Sage, Mackenzie Vega, Dre Davis, Cassidy Freeman, and he both wrote and directed it. But yeah, so like Mark Pavia or Pavia, Richard Stanley. Who else is there was pretty good? Robert Harmon. Not Mark Harmon. Robert Harmon. I can't think of any more directors that are kind of good sort of horror movie directors or genre filmmakers that aren't more widely known, but are more culty, that you don't really see much more from it. I mean, the guy who directed Phantoms was... What else did he make? I'm just checking. Phantoms. So the director of Phantoms was Joe Chappelle, and Joe Chappelle also directed several roles. Director type movie. He's directed 5 movies. He directed Thieves Quartet, which starred no one really well known. James Denton. Who is James Denton? I know that name. He's been in a few things. He also directed, well, his second film as a filmmaker, as a director, was Michael Myers, was Halloween Curse of Michael Myers from 1995. Which, is that number 6? Then Phantoms in 1998, love Phantoms. A film called Takedown in 2000, which starred Skeet Ulrich, Russell Wong, Angela Featherstone, Donald Logue, Christopher McDonald, Master P, Tom Berenger, Jeremy Sisto, Amanda Peet, Ethan Suplee. Oh, there's a pretty decent cast in this. Ned Bellamy, Scott Cooper, Sarah Melson, J.C. Quinn. I know that guy. What's his name? Ned Bellamy. Is he from Tremors? He's in Shawshank Redemption. But he looks like he was in Tremors. Probably not. I'm probably going mad here. Ned Bellamy. He was in Under the Dome. Who was he in Under the Dome? Reverend Lester. Wilson in Django Unchained. He was in Castle. He was the Attorney General in 24. And he was Ed Winston in Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. He was Waylon Forge in Twilight. Wind Chill, that was a good film. Deputy Perkins in Jericho, that's why I recognised him. So Wind Chill was a really good film. I think it was produced by George Clooney. And it stars Emily Blunt and Ashton Holmes. And Martin Donovan, who you would recognise him if you saw him. He's in Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie. Gregory Jacobs, what else have you done? Gregory Jacobs. He directed... So he's directed 4 movies. He directed Criminal from 2004, which I think is the remake. Yeah, it's the remake of another film called 9 Queens. He directed the remake of that, the English language remake of that, because I think 9 Queens is Spanish or Portuguese. I'm not 100% sure. But it stars John C. Reilly, Diego Luna, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Peter Mullen, and Jonathan Tucker. He also directed Magic Mike XXL, which I was unaware of. I thought Steven Soderbergh directed Magic Mike XXL, because he directed the first 2, but I've never seen either Magic Mike movie. Other good, like, one-off horror films that you don't hear much from the other filmmakers is Dead End. Dead End's really good. It's got Ray Wise in it and Lin Shaye. And it was directed by Jean-Baptiste André and Fabrice Campanella. What have they done? Because those names sound familiar. Big Nothing. Is it The Lincoln Lawyer? No, Brotherhood of Tears. Right, let's have a look. Let's Google. There's IMDb what they've done. So they've directed Dead End, Big Nothing, and Brotherhood of Tears. Now, I've never seen Brotherhood of Tears. However, I have seen Dead End, and I have seen Big Nothing. Big Nothing is okay. It's David Schwimmer, post-Friends, with Simon Pegg, which I think led them both to Run Fat Boy Run. It's also got Alice Eve and John Polito in it. Excuse me. What else is there? Windchill. Pontypool, which I put in my video about my 3 horror movies to watch on an all-nighter. Them, Thanksgiving, Switchblade Romance was Alexander Aja. May was what was his name? Lucky McKee. There we go. Lucky McKee. Splinter was really good as well. It's like an alien invasion movie about a bunch of people trapped inside a roadside gas station. But the alien is like a parasitic host. Really good. It's got Shea Wiggum and Jill Wagner and Pablo Costanza. And that was directed by Toby Wilkins. Toby Wilkins also directed Staring at the Sun. And that's about it. Absentia. Just a lot of TV stuff. But there was one film that came out, it was called Whisper. And it starred Josh Holloway and what's her name from Prison Break? Sarah Wayne Callies. Which was really good. It was like a little crime thriller. I'm typing in Sawyer for some reason. I don't want to do that. Whisper. It was a crime thriller horror movie. No, I can't find it on IMDb. Is it that one? Sinister things begin happening to kidnappers who are holding a young boy for ransom in a remote cabin, starring Jennifer Shirley, whoever that is, Blake Woodruff, whoever that is, Michael Rooker, fucking Rooker's in it, Josh Holloway, Sarah Wayne Callies, Julian Christopher, and that's Tara Wilson, Joel Edgerton, fucking hell, Joel Edgerton's in it. And Corey Monteith from Glee, who passed away due to drugs, I think it was. Heroin overdose, maybe? But that was directed by Stuart Hendler, who also directed something called H+, which I believe is a TV series. And Sorority Row. What is Sorority? Oh, he directed the god-awful Max Steel movie as well. Sorority Row. Do I know? Is that the one with Carrie Fisher? That might be the one with Carrie Fisher. It's got Brianna Evergan in it. Oof, she was good looking. Yeah, it is the one with Carrie Fisher. So, Sorority Row was a remake of The House on Sorority Row, which is a slasher film from the 1980s. The remake stars Brianna Evergan, Ruma Willis, Carrie Fisher, Terry Andres, Adam Barry, Megan Wolfe, Robert Belushi. I'm assuming he is a relative. It's also got Margot Harshman, Jamie Chung. She is oof as well. Audrina Partridge, Leah Pipes, Matt O'Leary, Julian Morris, Deborah Gordon. I had a big thing for Brianna Evergon when Step Up 2 came out. I think she was in Step Up 2. Yeah, Step Up 2, The Streets. Because, she was hot. And she's in S. Darko, a Donnie Darko tale, which is a sort of sequel, I guess, to Donnie Darko, which has nothing really to do with Richard Kelly's original Donnie Darko movie. And he just came up with the characters. The film was written by Nate Atkins, who also wrote Cold Fusion from 2011, which looks god-awful. Glass House, The Good Mother, which is a sequel to The Glass House, which had Lily Sobieski in it. Supernova, starring Luke Perry. Not a lot of, high quality stuff. A lot of shit. He wrote Soccer Dog European Cup. So that tells you the level of writing that we're dealing with here. And he writes a lot of these shitty Netflix Christmas movies. But what happened to Richard Kelly? He came out with 3 movies. Donnie Darko, Southland Tales, and what was the other one he did? The Box. And he never made another movie. At least I don't think he did. No, he never made another movie. He wrote Domino. He produced I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, Rogues Gallery, which is not a good movie, The Box, which I actually quite enjoyed, World's Greatest Dad, which I think is a Robin Williams movie. It is, yeah. As a director, only 3 films. Donnie Darko, Southland Tales, and The Box. Now, Southland Tales is an odd movie. It's interesting going through these sort of lower end movies, but let's have a look. Who is it? Davy Chase is Samantha in S. Darko, Samantha Darko. Then you've got Brianna Evergon as Corey, James Lafferty as Iraq Jack, Ed Westwick as Randy, he can fuck off, Walter Platts, John Hawkes, man, what the hell are you doing in this? Brett Roberts, Jackson Rathbone. There we go. This is the quality of actors that they've got in this movie. And this isn't to take away from the fact that, she's a terrible actress, because she is a terrible actress. And her career died after one of the films that she did. But this S. Darko, a Donnie Darko tale, also stars Elizabeth Berkley, who played Jessie in Saved by the Bell, and the infamous Noomi from Paul Verhoeven's Showgirls. Basically tanked her career. She played Jessie in Saved by the Bell, a fucking hardcore full-on feminist, and then she plays a stripper, where she gets completely butt-ass naked. Who else is in this? It's got a really shit cast. Chris Fisher directed it, but he also directed a lot of TV stuff. Let's see what else Chris Fisher directed, apart from S. Darko, as a film director. He directed 2 episodes of the remake of The Stand, which was actually alright, the remake of The Stand. But it was sort of done out of order, which didn't really work. So I managed to find a copy of the Stand remake with, what's his name? Stellan Skarsgård's kid. Not Bill, the other one. What else? Meeting Evil
S. Darker, Rampage, The Hillside Strangler, Night Stalker, and Dirty. Dirty is a cop film with Lou Gossett Jr. and Clifton Collins Jr. and it's a decent movie. It's got Keith David in it as well. So I don't know why it's only got a 37 Metacritic score. So let's go back to The Stand. The Stand. So The Stand, I can't even remember his name now. There we go. Excuse me. I'm tired. It's late. Alexander Skarsgård. Whoopi Goldberg played Mother Abigail as Ruby. Can't remember her name, but she was married to Ozzie Davis for a while. Well, up until his death. Ruby D. From Touched by an Angel. She played Mother Abigail in the 1994 version. Alexander Skarsgård plays Randall Flagg in the new version, and he was played by Jamie something in the original version. James Marsden plays Stu Redman, who was played by Gary Sinise. Odessa Young plays Franny Goldsmith. Franny Goldsmith was played by Molly Ringwald in the original. Gordon Cornier played Joe. Hey Joe, what do you know? I can't remember the name of the kid. Amber Heard played Nadine Cross, who was brilliantly played by Laura San Giacomo in the original. Giovanna Depo played Larry Underwood, and I can't remember his name now. It was in the original. Owen Teague played Howard Lauder, or Lauder, in the remake, and the original version. Let's go through the original version. So, the cast was Gary Sinise as Stu Redman, Molly Ringwald as Franny Goldsmith, Jamie Sheridan as Randall Flagg, Laura San Giacomo as Nadine Cross, Ruby D as Mother Abigail, Ozzie Davis as Judge, Miguel Ferrer as Lloyd Henreid, Corin Nemec, there we go, as Howard Lauder, Matt Frewer as Trash Can Man, hey Trash, Adam Stork played Larry Underwood, there we go. Ray Walston played Glenn Bateman, and Rob Lowe played Nick Andres. And in the remake, Brad William Henke, who passed away as well, played Tom Cullen. Nat Wolff played Lloyd Henreid, who I thought was really too young to be in that role. Enrique Zaga played Nick Andros. Greg Kinnear played Glenn Bateman. Glenn Bateman in the original was Ray Walston, and Ray Walston was old. So this is like post... What was that? Batteries Not Included and Cocoon, because I think he was in both of those. I think, was he the one who was... No, he wasn't married to Jessica Tandy. But I think Greg Kinnear is too young. Who else have we got? Ion Bailey played Teddy Wysack. Ion Bailey's in From. If you haven't seen From, check it out. It's a really, really good TV show with Harold Perrineau from Lost and Oz, and that Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. He plays, I think it's Mercutio. But Stephen King's The Stand is my favourite adaptation of a Stephen King novel. The original Stephen King, The Stand, directed by Mick Garris and written for the screen by Stephen King, is my favourite Stephen King adaptation, followed by Storm of the Century with Colm Feore, which was written directly for the screen. It wasn't based on a novel, it was directly written for the screen by Stephen King, and it's a very, very good miniseries. Rose Red is also pretty good as well, which is worth checking out. I wouldn't bother with The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, but there we go. So this is a short one because I am tired and my voice is going. So yeah, I know this is only a half-hour one, but it's me just going through some movies, going through some horror movies, talking about different things, which is what I'd really like to do, and I would love to be able to do this with another person, but currently that's not very likely to happen. So thank you everyone for listening. This is Pedro from Pedro's Movie Cavern. You are listening to the Pedro Movie Cavern podcast. I'm going to sign out and say see you all soon. Speak to you all soon. Everybody be safe. Giving you a salute. Throwing up the peace sign. I'm telling you that I am out. Till next time. Cheers.